And we're back live on your number one sports podcast, All Things Sports, Small Town EP, Wade Julian, Big Kev Shot It, in a week that features the start of the NHL and NBA playoffs and will feature the NFL draft. We are back to give you the real in sports. Julian, how you doing up in NYC today?
Everything's good, man. I started a 7-day fruit fast, so it's gonna be tough for the next few days here. But mental
Health is
strength is
wealth,
the
my
name of the
boy.
game.
Health is
Yeah,
wealth,
man.
my boy. And newly father in the building. Big Kev Shot It. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, man. God bless. How is daddy life treating you, boss?
Thank you. Thank you. It's always great to be here with you guys though. So always willing to when the baby's sleeping, take a little hour to join you fellas. It's been great though. I can't complain. Even without the long hours of sleep, it's still it feels great to have him here and like be able to hold him and see him and actually see him physically. So today is a week exactly. So he's a week old as of today.
God bless, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Like I said, we have a lot to get into. Let's get right into it. NBA playoffs are here, gentlemen. They are here. They are here Saturday on 420. Ironically, I don't know who's whose holiday that is, but apparently it's a holiday. I'm not 100% sure, but we did see on Saturday the Cavs, the Timberwolves, the Knicks, and the Nuggets all take 1-0 leads in their series. Yesterday, Sunday the 21st, we saw the Celtics, the Clippers, the Bucks, and the Thunder in a very close game against the Pelicans. All those teams, all the home teams, round one did win. First time, if I'm not mistaken, in 30 plus years that has happened.
Hmm.
And tonight, we see the Knicks come out on top 104 to 101 in a very, very close game two of the first round in the Garden, Madison Square Garden. Tyrese Maxey, 35 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists. Josh Hart, 21 points, 15 rebounds. This game, a little more of a nail biter than game one.
Yeah.
Although they're down 0-2 and them being Philadelphia, should the Knicks be concerned about how close this second game was, June?
I wouldn't go with concerned. I think, they withstood 35 from Maxi, almost a triple double, 34 from Embiid with a double double, who's playing on like, one knee. And um, it's a tough playoff team. It's a tough playoff game. The atmosphere is at an all time high. So I wouldn't use concern. I would be more so proud of the fact that the Knicks were able to claw their way to this win because all game Philly had this game. It looked like they were the ones in command, and then in the third quarter we see those non-Joel Embiid minutes really hurting the Sixers, but they have to go to it for some points of the game with him dealing with that knee, um, and the shit just shifted, and New York takes the lead, and they're ahead. They're staying ahead until this last minute or so where Philly goes up and kind of gets hot, goes up four. And I don't know, you guys tell me what happened, but if I was watching correctly, I saw more effort, more heart, more of a will to win from New York than Philly. Obviously, Joel Embiid, I'll keep mentioning the knee. Um, Knowing that the Knicks are as good of an offensive rebounding team as they are, I mean, you got to box somebody out. It's pretty unacceptable for you guys to barely get the ball, and you have a timeout. Kyle Lowry, the veteran that he is, didn't use it under the basket, throws it into Maxi. Maxi looks like he might have gotten fouled, maybe not. He gathers the ball. Nobody calls timeout. Coach Nick Nurse is trying. Ref isn't paying attention. They lose the ball there. Then you give them a wide open three opportunity. Then they miss that shot. You get them offensive rebound opportunity, and then they get another wide open three that, we don't see DiVincenzo miss two threes in a row lately. So he sank it. And then, Philly did have an opportunity at the buzzer, but I'm not sure what they were trying to do there. And so you got to give credit to the Knicks for coming out, understanding that their best player isn't having his best series right now. Saturday game 1 was tough on Brunson. Game 2 was tough on Brunson as well. I think tonight he had 24 points. I mean, we're talking 8 of 29 shooting and 1 of 6 from 3, which that 1 3 was probably the biggest 3 of the game. So yeah, man, you got to just give credit to a willful and hungry New York Knicks team that took a commanding 2-0 lead going back to Philly.
Yeah, and you referenced Joel Embiid, virtually playing on one knee. We talked a lot about what does a healthy Joel Embiid mean to this, 76ers team in the playoffs. And I mean, he's out here scoring 30 plus once again on about a knee and a half, but it's still resulting in a loss. Kev, if the Sixers get bounced in the first round, how much of a negative impact will it be on Joel Embiid's legacy at this point?
I mean, I think it's kind of remains the same, right? Like I feel like he's like in that T Mac kind of uh space where it's like great player, he could do whatever he wants to, and he just can't seem to figure it out. Or it's not even. I don't even want to say he can't figure it out. He had 36 tonight or something like that. Um, so his teams can't figure it out, and the year they got the closest was probably Kawhi's shot bouncing 5 times before it goes in, and then the other year before that is Ben Simmons passing up on a layup.
Oh,
So
that one stings.
I
That one's
mean,
gotta sting.
you've been close, and your team just can't seem to get over that hump and get to the finals. And it's tough, but that's just the real the I guess the reality. Jeez, I can't find the word. That's the reality of it. And so until he shows that, that's just the space that he's gonna fall in, that T Max space.
Yeah, it's tough because
Yeah,
we've never seen him healthy. We haven't seen him healthy at this point in the season, towards
right.
the April May time of the season when it matters most, when you're in these 7 game series. With that being said, Kev, after 2 games, who you got and how many games?
I think the Knicks win the series. I think Philadelphia's given them their best punch twice, and Brunson's looked bad twice, and the Knicks still figure out a way to win. So I would go New York, still winning the series. I think Philly probably gets one at home. Um, so I say Knicks in 5. But not only is his offseason a question mark with Embiid, probably his playing status with Team USA is going to be a no go either in the Olympics.
Yeah,
June, who
if
you
I'm
got?
Philly, I would definitely say it's a no-go for the Olympics because, I mean, to E's point, to answer the question, I got the Knicks. I want to say 5. I want to say Philly can steal a game, but Kev just pointed out JB's playing as bad as he is, and are struggling from the field. Yeah, I would say he's playing bad. He's playing as bad as he is. It's not what we're used to seeing for the last month and a half, and they're still finding a way to figure it out and win it, whether down the stretch. Um, so I don't know that Philadelphia is going to be able to muster up enough for a win. Joel Embiid, they go as far as he can, and he can't give it his all. Raymond, shout out to Ray Cam in the chat. He said Embiid's only had 1 board in the second half. His knee is cooked like a barbecue chicken, barbecue cookout. But it's just sad. He can't. He has to kind of give effort on one end and not 100% on the other, and you're going to get that sacrifice. Guys like Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein, they're not going for that.
Yeah, everybody not named Embiid and Maxi was not good tonight. So I do think at least getting back home, role players usually tend to play a little bit better at home, especially in front of a pumped up crowd like Philly is.
Yeah,
So I do think they'll be able to
I
get
just,
one
hey
on a
man,
kind of like a Oubre game or something, or maybe a Lowry
Ananobi
game.
and Ananobi and Brunson, bro. And no, not a Lowry game. They're not getting a Lowry game.
Not
But
even
He
another.
almost
Not
Ananobi and
even
he almost
another.
win
Brunson,
in
man.
game, almost had one in game 1.
Not even another Batum game.
It ain't enough, bro. It ain't. I mean,
Yeah,
from what I saw tonight, it's just like to me, that took all of their powers away. Like, there's no way they should have lost this game tonight. And as much as I do credit New York for winning the game, it was Philly's game, Philly's loss. I mean, four
If they
point
were up
lead
early.
over 30 seconds or so, and you kind of just effort is the answer there.
As soon as the game ended, I thought to myself, Philly just lost. Like Philly just gave up a game that the Knicks tried to give up to them. Like it felt like the Knicks first gave up the game to Philly, and then Philly was like, "No, we don't want to take it back."
Yeah,
And that's
and
that's how it felt when
those are
that
the
game ended.
games that lose you a series. So I
Hmm.
mean, I know it's just two. I know you got two back at home, but your best player is dealing with this, obviously returned too quick from this knee injury. And to that point, I was going to say earlier, we talked about Zion Williamson coming into the league and how much, for those who remember Jay Boogie, shout out to Jay Boogie, man. He used to talk about it a lot. Like, he doesn't know how far Zion is going to be able to progress in his career and how great we're going to be able to see him at his ceiling because of his size and the fact that somebody that tall and that heavy shouldn't be that athletic and shouldn't be doing that to their knees. And I think that same thing went over our head with Joel Embiid. I mean, if you guys remember him coming out of Kansas, I mean, we're talking about damn near as skinny as Andrew Wiggins, right? And then turns into this 280-pound monster who's dominant. Um, and I think I think it's just, at the end of the day, way too much for his body, way too much. And so we noticed that he can play, 60 of 82, he can play 70 of 82, he can play 50 of 82. But by the time we get to that 85th, 86th, 87th, you're gonna see that wear. And Philly has to address this, honestly, as far as who their, franchise player is going forward and how far they think that guy, whoever they think it is, can take them.
It'll probably be Maxi, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. These two teams did meet four times in the regular season. The Knicks took that series 3-1. They did beat the Sixers both times at the Wells Fargo Center by an average of 25 points. It was a 36-point blowout and a 14-point win as well. So we want to hope that Philly can at least grab one, but the stats and the trends and the history do not show that. I want to get a live look into the Los Angeles Lakers playing the defending champion Denver Nuggets in Denver. About 2 minutes left in the first half, 49-42. The Lakers are up 7 with about, again, 2.5 minutes left in the first half. Anthony Davis on another tear, 20 points, 12 rebounds so far. And Nikola Jokic, 10 points. Whoa, 12 rebounds. Double-double in the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can you expect from a guy named Jokic? June, can the Lakers pull this one off and steal back home court advantage? Because that's going to be big for LeBron to continue to advance down this playoff journey this year.
Tonight's a big night, man. AD's got to continue what he's doing in this first half, taking it to Jokic and putting pressure. He's got 20 points on 9 of 10 shooting and 6 rebounds as it stands with 2.5 left to go. Michael Porter Jr. has 4 threes already. And I think that he's going to be a big key in keeping Denver in this game. And ultimately, if there is a crease for them to come back, he'll be the reason why. But I did laugh at, shout out to Daniel in the chat. He told me Lakers money line tonight, and I just big LOL. What I'm seeing from Anthony Davis tonight, man, is hunger, and it's a will. So yeah, they definitely can steal this. But the thing about it is that the Lakers have to play perfect and very tip-top basketball to beat this Denver team. And Denver, they're struggling tonight. They're not hitting all their shots, but they're going to stay in it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, AD and LeBron are going to have to do some takeover shit second half and be the difference makers. They can't rely on a guy like D'Angelo Russell, who's had a good start, or Austin Reeves to come in and try to save them. This has to be either AD or LeBron's game to win.
Kev, these two teams met 3 times this regular season. The Lakers could not pull off a win in any of those matchups. Can they get their first win this evening? And what will it take?
They sure look like they can. D'Angelo Russell's playing a great game. Um, AD, AD just, I mean, he just hit another jump shot. Like he's not missing tonight. He missed once. I'm sorry, but he's not. Other than that, it doesn't look like he's missing again. He's got 24 in the first half already. So Jokic had 10 and 10 after the first quarter. I thought he was gonna have like 20 rebounds by the half. He slowed that pace down a little bit, but yeah, I like anything LeBron does doesn't surprise me at this point. He could go win a championship this year and like it wouldn't shock me. It's I think he's shown that time and time again. Like when he wants to be, he can be the best player in the league, in the world. And so I think he had a block on Jamal Murray at the rim. Like Murray went up to dunk it, and LeBron. It looked like the block on Thiago Splitter. So he's still doing things that he was doing over 10 years ago, and just had an and one where he's being dragged to the floor like he was doing 10 years ago too. So yeah, LeBron looks like he's out. He came out tonight to play, and AD definitely looks like he came out to play. So the Lakers can definitely pick up their first one of the series tonight.
I don't really want to talk about the Orlando and Cleveland series right now, only
There's a
because I
reason it's
mean,
the NBA TV series.
as a Duke fan, we have the news this week of Jeremy Roach, entering the transfer portal and going over to Baylor, and Paolo Banchero, 21 points in game two, -7 on his plus minus. I mean, the Cavaliers missed 10 free throws and still won by 10 points. I mean, like it doesn't look good for Orlando, and it's looking like they're bringing the brooms out, or they might let you get one in Orlando, but I think that the inexperience at this point in the season is what's going to bite Orlando in the ass the most at this point. June, you got any takeaways from that Orlando and Cavs series?
Nah, man, but prayers up to Jalen Suggs. It looked like he hurt himself today, sprained his knee or so. So hopefully he can get healthy. I don't know that he even returns to the series with a knee sprain. That's pretty tough. And at this rate, doesn't look like it's going back to Orlando. Back to Cleveland. So, uh, yeah, no, I mean this is good for the Magic though. I mean, obviously everybody has their jokes and there's always something to take away from everything. Um, and I think the takeaway for the Magic here is just much like the Miami Heat's experience here. We need guys like Jovic, Triple J to get these moments and put them under their belt, understand what it feels like. And so does Paulo Banchero. So does, Franz and Wagner, Jalen Suggs, Markel, all these guys that are just extremely young, having the opportunity to play valuable minutes against a team like the Cavs in the first round of playoffs is only going to help, what they're trying to do for the future of the franchise. So I think regardless if it's funny, if it's the NBA TV tournament or, Magic are getting whooped every game, they earned their right to be the fifth seed for, however they did it. And they are going to learn from this. So shout out to the Magic.
The Suns taking on Minnesota. Kevin Durant with a very quiet 31.7 rebounds, and Anthony Davis with a very loud 33 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, jarring at KD. Beautiful sight to see at this point in his, I think it's fourth year in the league, third or fourth year in the league.
I think it's his,
Yeah,
I think it's his third
fourth.
year. By the way, it's Anthony Edwards, not Anthony Davis.
Yeah, my fault.
But he was drafted
Anthony
in
Edwards,
2020 draft. So
fourth year in the league then. 23-year-old looking like the torch is being handed to him as far as the face of the league is concerned. But how big would it be for him, Kev, to be able to knock out Kevin Durant in the first round of this playoffs?
I mean, he's definitely shown he's here. He's He's going right there. He's done it all season, going at everybody. Doesn't really back down. He didn't going back to last season. I think even as early as the second year with Jimmy Butler, like he wasn't backing down. He's one of the only people that don't back down from people. So, um, and he said it like nobody's really trying to fight in the NBA. So he's an entertainer. He's good for the game. He's a fun kid. So um, I like it, and I like the way he carries himself on and off the court. He probably should be more of a face in the league, and I think beating this Phoenix Suns team in the first round can probably propel him to that and put him in early MVP conversations as we go into next year.
Early MVP. I likes. I likes. I likes. June, Anthony Edwards jarring at KD, good or bad for the game? Because I think that's the highlight that everyone's been
Amazing.
taking. Yeah, right.
AD
Amazing. I
loved
mean,
it.
this is, that, and that's, this isn't Dylan Brooks jarring at LeBron James, right? This is the next up, showing you why he's next and talking crazy to those who you would not normally want to talk crazy to. And the fact that he's doing it with a smile on his face, he's doing it with the utmost confidence, and he's also getting that respect reciprocated from that same guy. I think it just shows a lot of, where his game has come. Coming out of Georgia, I definitely knew Anthony Edwards was, the best player in that draft. Um, Definitely believed him to be, a very, very special talent. I knew he had the potential to one day take on the role of like new face of the league or getting into that, top five of the young guys. But I think he's exceeded my expectations and a lot quicker as well. He's just put in the work, and I don't think we're close to seeing a finished product of Anthony Edwards. Like the athleticism, the pure jump shot, the ball handling, defense, the heart, it's all there, and the character. So, um, like Kev said, his makeup on and off the court, it checks out, and the Minnesota Timberwolves set themselves up for real this time. They tried it with Kevin Love, they tried it with Andrew Wiggins, they found their guy now. They even tried it with Cat, but he's the guy.
Cat's still there. That's funny. They will play game 2 tomorrow in Minnesota. Of course, Minnesota with the home court advantage. Kev, does Kev tie it up tomorrow? Or does Ant Edwards and Ant Man and company take the commanding 2-0 lead?
I've watched a lot of Phoenix basketball this year, and I have totally given up on trying to figure out who they are and when they're going to come out to play because it is just like I don't even. I thought they'd win game one. If we're being honest, like I thought Phoenix was going to come out and win game one, come out with energy, and they looked flat. Other than KD, like everybody other than KD looked flat, and I expect Book to have like a big game too to bounce back
It was
because
like 9 for 16 game 1.
he looked not good. Um, so yeah, I expect Booker to bounce back, but I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. I think they will, but it wouldn't surprise me if they don't.
June, what do you think? You might be on mute, June. We're working out some technical difficulties with June right now. He should be right back, right back. But damn, as soon as I'm about to go into this Heat series, June disappears. That's
Oh,
I'm
crazy.
here. I'm here.
He came back.
I'm here.
Real quick, June. Yeah, your takeaways from well, what could happen tomorrow, game 2, Phoenix and Minnesota.
What could happen is that Phoenix better get their act together because Minnesota don't look like they're coming to play. It looks like they want to sweep them. This series we thought might have been one of the best series of the first round. Two Western Conference teams with a lot of talent, going at each other. It's Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, you know. But it's like move to the side. There's a new regime coming through, and the depth. I always figured that the depth was going to be an issue for this Suns team. Um, because they're very top heavy, much like Boston is. And I, we'll talk about that in a second, like you said. But they gotta figure some things out because this can get ugly very fast. And I'm talking about 3-0 eventually. So
Ooh, and then that's a hole that most people do not dig themselves back out of. We'll take it over to the TD Garden in Boston, where Miami is taking on the Celtics. Miami did lose the first game 94-14. There was a 17-2 run by the Celtics over the first 3+ minutes of the game, which in my opinion really set everything kind of back, and I always talk about, how Jimmy Butler and company love to be in those moments. They, kind of cherish those moments because they, pressure gonna make a diamond or it's gonna bust a pipe. And Miami does tend to shine. They did play a good game throughout the rest of the game. They went on after that 17-2 run. I think they went on like a 14-6 run, Miami themselves, and brought it in a little bit closer in the first quarter. Kev, what do you guys need to do to win game 2? And what was maybe the biggest, in your eyes, the biggest setback of game 1?
The biggest setback was Tyler Hero coming off the big game he had in Chicago. You need more from him at this point. If you're going to take a game, you definitely need more from Tyler Hero. You need more from somebody, but Jaime Jaquez and Bam Adebayo have been doing what they need to do, in my opinion. I know a lot of Heat Twitter differ on opinions, but in my opinion, those two guys have shown up. Kevin Love has shown up. I don't think he's gotten enough run, but he's looked good every time he's checked into a basketball game, and so I'm. It's like one of those things. Like it's Spo, and you have to trust him, but it's just sometimes you see things on the court. He obviously sees them better. I'll never question the thing that he does, but yeah, Kevin Love getting 5 minutes in the first half, having 7 points and 3 rebounds in those 5 minutes, and then not really making an appearance until late in the third was just like confusing. He was a big part of the Heat getting back into the game in that first quarter. So, um, I was a little confused on why we didn't see him again. Maybe there's an injury. I know he has the elbow contusion, so maybe it's that. Maybe they're trying to keep his minutes down. But at this point, it's either you're out there or you're not, and you're available or you're not. So I think we need more Kevin Love. I love DeLon Wright and Haywood Highsmith in the game together, causing havoc, just being like doing what they need to do. So hopefully we get more of those minutes. But it's tough. I mean, there's no Jimmy, there's no Terry, and those are probably our two most important guys on offense. Jimmy's just go get a bucket, and in games when Tyler's not doing much, it was supposed to be Terry, and now those two guys are gone, and hopefully Terry can somehow come back, but at this point it doesn't seem that way. So it's gonna be tough. If there is a team that I think could do it in this situation, it's Miami, but it'll be tough, especially against this Boston team.
Yeah, and Bam Adebayo, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. June, do the Heat need to run the offense through Bam to win this series, or is there another formula that they should follow?
I don't know that they need to run their offense through Bam. I think we're at our best when everybody's getting touches and the ball is moving around and we're making shots. That, as Kev mentioned, Jimmy Butler's out, Terry Rozier's out, Duncan Robinson, for what it's worth, is out. I mean, ever since that back injury, we haven't seen the same Duncan Robinson. Can't hit his shots. Um, And it's just like, where do we go from here, right? Like, we got to be honest about shit. Obviously, we can. DeLon Wright can start. DeLon Wright had a great game. Shout out to DeLon Wright for always making things difficult for whoever we put him on as far as a point of attack defense. But and Highsmith as well. But you just look at the roster. There's just not enough. There is not enough. And I know Kev is mad, probably thinking I don't have any guts, this, that, and the third. Um, yeah, I mean, if this is the Tyler Hero we're gonna get, it's far from enough. Um, Caleb Martin might have played his last few games in a Miami Heat jersey after this series. Um, and then when we're talking about Kevin Love being like the MVP of the team right now, like, and obviously Bam Adebayo with a big game and he held it down, but it's disheartening because all this way we've come, ups and downs of the season, injuries, prevailed through them, got hot, got cold, got hot again, figured it out or thought we could, and we go and get a point guard who we're getting production from that we haven't had since Goran Dragic on our team can't even start in the playoffs. So it's just I kind of want to laugh at the pain to suppress it, but it's pretty frustrating when you got a team like Boston who is lethal. I mean, if they're hot, like I think we played them 3 times this season. We didn't beat them once, but the first time, I think it was the first game we played, like they shot the ball similar to yesterday or similar to, yeah, that was yesterday, and you can't come back from a game like that. You can't, there's no way that you could put yourself back in the game. You can get a couple stops, but if they're hitting the shots at that rate, Sam Hauser came in and hit 4 threes in like 7 minutes or so. And it's just like, Porzingis is hitting shots. Pritchard's hit. Okay. All right. So I mean, hey, we're here now. It's game 2 in Boston still. I'm not gonna call it a quit and say we have zero chance to win a game. I do think, we ultimately can take a game, hopefully 2. But one, we're gonna need Boston not to shoot the ball at that clip in game 2. And also we're gonna need a lot more from guys like, Tyler Hero, Jovic, Caleb Martin, Highsmith. I mean, we can't have you guys, doing things in the regular season that we're so proud of to, come to this point and do this. So it is what it is. We're here now. We'll see what they got tomorrow.
And then last but not least, the Pelicans in Oklahoma City taking on the Thunder. The Thunder do win game 1, 94-92 in a close battle against the Zion Williamson-less Pelicans. SGA, man, another 28 points, almost 30-point game. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, had a couple of turnovers and a couple personal fouls, but once again, they were able to come out with the dub. Without Zion Williamson, only losing by 2 points to an Oklahoma City team that only lost 8 games at home all season. Should this loss encourage the Pelicans, Kevin?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's the playoffs. If you're not encouraged enough, then this isn't for you. um, so being down 1-0 in the series should make you even more encouraged. So definitely got to go get a win. No matter who's out there, they've shown that they can compete with Oklahoma City, especially in the game 1. Oklahoma City's young, and like New Orleans hasn't had great success with this group, but they've been in the postseason. Like they've experienced this before, so that's the one advantage that the Pelicans can say they have right now over this OKC team. But this OKC team should win. They should win this series on paper. But sometimes experience is everything in the playoffs, and they've got CJ McCollum, who's been to the Western Conference Finals. They have Brandon Ingram, who's been to the playoffs and performed in the playoffs. And even guys like Herbert Jones and Jose Alvarado. I mean, Alvarado had a great series.
Valanciunas.
Valanciunas also, yeah, like they've got guys who have been there and who have made, not championship runs, but deep playoff runs and have been in these situations. And for the most part, OKC is super young, minus Gordon Hayward, maybe might be the only one. And Dort, I think, has been there for a playoff run. But that's the one thing they've got over them, and I think that we could see a good series, but I still think Oklahoma City should win this.
You're muted, bro.
Good looks, my bad. As a Duke fan, I want to see Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram obviously succeed. And the other side of it, I spoke about this briefly on the last pod. As a Currency fanatic, I would love to see. I love seeing Currency happy at the Smoothie King Center and just like with the guys and all hype and got the Rose Bowl chain on and and all the splendor and everything. But I mean,
the reality is they're not good enough, brother. Not without Zion. Not without Zion.
And I think that's the key. Seeing his frustration walking off of the court, after that last game that he played in, and it just kind of seemed like he knew what the, kind of what the injury was, what was about to happen.
Yeah.
You could tell his body language was, very understandably poor. Could this be a situation where the series just gets out of hand at this point, June, and we, OKC brings the brooms out?
No, I mean last night's game was too close for me to think that they're gonna sweep this team. By the way, Anthony Davis comes out of halftime and gets an and one. I mean, this is what we were talking about. Can he continue to put the pressure on them? And they're up 18 here, so we'll keep an eye on that. But no, I think OKC, to Kev's point, lacking the experience that they do, it's gonna be a factor on why the Pelicans can compete in the series. And I don't think the Pelicans go and win 3 games or maybe even 2. They probably lose in 5. But to think that this is a sweep, no, I think these are going to be hard fought games. OKC might figure it out, for game 2 at home and take more of a commanding victory. But I do think, back in New Orleans, this team does have guys like Herb Jones. They still do have guys who can make the perimeter shot, and McCollum and BI. I wouldn't just necessarily count them out as sweep candidates, but do I think they're going to win this series? By far, no.
NBA playoffs full effect, heating up. We will continue to keep you updated. I want to take it over to the diamond, as they say. Last week, I mentioned that Joey Musgrove might be on auto fade alert with the performance that he put on. Well, I promise June, I promise Kev that I think some of these players listen to the All Things Sports podcast, because he comes out yesterday at home in San Diego versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Not only versus the Toronto Blue Jays, but versus Chris Bassett, one of Toronto's best pitchers in their bullpen. Pitches 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, only 3 strikeouts. His ERA was a bit high, but he's getting the run support. And typically, this isn't something that we see from the Padres. Last year we're used to seeing their bat struggling. This year it seems that they're, slowly getting their roll on. I think that was one of the biggest takeaways for me in the last couple of days in the MLB. Along with the Boston Red Sox, I'm not gonna lie, maintaining that like 1.79 or 9.7. I'm not sure. I'm a little dyslexic sometimes when it comes to ERAs, but the lowest ERA in the American League. The record's not saying it right now, but you guys are playing your butts off, June. Do you have any takeaways from this last week in baseball?
I mean, I'll just talk about the Red Sox. I'm excited for us. This is a young team. We knew it was a young team coming into the season, and we're gonna feel that, right? Like through the ups and downs. Our defense has been playing atrocious to start the season. We couldn't find a way to win at home for some time, but we come out and we get a series win against the Pirates this weekend, and I mean this guy Cutter, our Cutter, I forgot his last name, but we got a picture, man. Cutter is throwing cutters, and he has the lowest ERA in the league right now. And I mean, it's just a credit to new pitching coach that we're seeing guys like Brian Bello and Cutter. Fuck his last name
Crawford.
is forgot, but
Crawford. Cutter
Cutter
Crawford.
Crawford. Thank you. It's a credit to the staff that we've put around them as far as why we're doing as good as we are in that regard. Like you said, the record doesn't necessarily show the consistency, but I would most definitely rather not be hitting the ball as good right now, but uh, showing that our pitchers are locked in. It ain't a problem. So we'll figure out the bats, we'll figure out the lineup, get guys back in. Trevor Story's hurt, Divers is hurt, O'Neill is hurt. Like, all right, and then Tristan Cassis is hurt. So with what we have, we're trying to make it work, and there's a lot of life in the locker room. So I'm just excited to continue to see this team grow and see where we can take the season, understanding that expectations aren't too high, but it's also not like a giveaway of a season.
Yeah, and it seems like Dylan Cease might have left Chicago and got out while the getting was good because the White Sox are the lowest scoring team, the worst offense so far this season. And Dylan Cease came out today and pitched a gem in Colorado. 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts, 180 from what we saw last year. Last year he was struggling. This year, he started off 0-2. He's now technically he's 3-1 now. One of those he got no decision because he got pulled a little early. But it is what it is. He's 3-1 right now. His ERA speaks for itself. It's back to what we saw, 2 seasons ago when he damn near pitched a no-hitter in September against the Twins. I remember that game very vividly. Large slate in the MLB today. But Kev, you got any takeaways from this week in the MLB?
Go Yankees. That's my take. No, I yeah, the AL East is stacked. I mean, Tampa Bay sitting in last place at 500. So that's going to be a tight race. It'll be fun. I think, all those teams, I know we talked about last time Yankees, Red Sox being good, but realistically, I think when all those teams are good, baseball's fun. Like when Baltimore and the Yankees had that rivalry, it was fun. It's just those teams in that Northeast area that are so diehard for their baseball teams, and the fans going, crazy in the postseason. So that'll be fun to watch. That AL East race as the season goes on. Dodgers are 13-11, so that makes me happy that they're not doing so great. Based on what they should be doing, not meeting expectations. That always makes me happy.
Yeah, losing to the Mets.
Yeah, good things like that when they make these dream teams. So only one team can do it right, and it's the Heat. Only team that can really make a dream team and make it work. So
hey, we did see Tyler Glasnow the other day, man, pitch a gem. Pitch a gem after getting rocked early the first couple of starts in the season. He pitched a gem. I think the Dodgers will Dodger, and they'll get it together. Probably more towards the summer.
and we'll
June,
also have
July.
to start some sort of a countdown or a campaign or something for Jeff Bezos to buy the Marlins.
I saw Zuckerberg's yacht docked in Fort Lauderdale this weekend.
Zuckerberg works too. Anybody that's willing to spend money on the team, up for sale, hopefully.
Oh man, yo, I don't have any more MLB updates. I don't know if you guys have anything. I know June. I guess we technically didn't end with the Yankees, but I think it's a little close to the end, and June's not going to let that slide. So I'm sure he has something else to mention.
That's mad funny. Nah, man. I mean, I'll say this, bro. This is it's been a wild year. I'll be 28 on Wednesday, and I said 28. I'll be 29 on Wednesday, And so, like I said, I'm doing this. I'm trying to do this 7 day fruit and water fast, and trying to break yourself down to build yourself up, kind of thing, and just trying to be intentional with what we got going on. So, everybody that's listening, we appreciate y'all. As you know, if you're listening on streaming platforms, we thank you as well. YouTube Live, anybody in the chat, shout out to you. It's all love.
Yeah, we got the NFL draft. We just stopped talking about the NFL barely. And now we got the draft this week, Thursday. A lot of implications, a lot of narratives, a lot of storylines. Does Jaden Daniels end up in Vegas with his old high school coach and Antonio Pierce? Who knows? We'll see what happens. I think obviously we all know that the draft starts at number 2. It doesn't because we know who's going number 1 at this point. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as we cross the 45-minute mark, this has been your Monday evening All Things Sports podcast. Just like June said, if you are tuned in live, thank you so much. Ray Cam Bam. Everybody, Daniel York, Ernest Goris, shout out to gang. Everybody in here, we appreciate you tapping in. If you're listening after the fact on our streaming platforms, thank you so much. Thursday's the NFL draft. So we'll see